Hey, I'm Morak, and I tried surviving 100 days of hardcore Minecraft. You've probably seen a lot of these videos already, and you most definitely have seen Luke the Notable's video. I also planned of surviving 100 days of hardcore Minecraft, but I had a goal in mind, to get some of the most rarest items in the game. Real quick, this video took me 50 hours to make, so a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated, thanks. I got an amazing spawn as there was a desert temple and an abandoned mineshaft right next to me. However, I didn't loot the desert temple straight away and I went off exploring. Although I didn't travel very far because I spotted something in the distance. I quickly grabbed some stone tools and went to the village. I stole the villagers' food, their money, and their wait, what? I also found and mined some surface iron. Next I killed this iron golem for enough iron to get a pickaxe. And I slept the night looking at the stars. I started off day one by breeding some cows and some sheep. I planted my sugarcane, then went out into the desert to see what was in the desert temple. However, on the way to the desert temple, I spotted a broken nether portal. At the portal, there was 2 golden blocks and a shiny sword and hoe. I dropped in the temple and mined down to see what was in this loot room. I disarmed the trap and grabbed the TNT for later. The chests were amazing, as in the first chest I already had enough diamonds to make a diamond pickaxe. I was running out of inventory space, so I set up a few chests inside of the temple. The other chests were good also, getting me an efficiency 3 book and a golden apple. In the first couple of days I've managed to gather quite a lot of good resources. Day 2, I woke up nice and early with a shield equipped to do some caving. I jumped straight into this massive cave with no fear and gathered some resources, including a little bit of coal and a lot of iron. However, during this caving trip I met a few friends and took care of them. On day 3, I smelted down the iron that I had grabbed and made myself some armour so I wasn't as easily killed. I then grabbed a villager from the village as I wanted a fortune 3 pickaxe before I went mining. And by day 4 I had kidnapped 2 villagers. I changed one of them into a Fletcher so he would trade me 32 sticks for 1 emerald. So I made a tree farm outside my house and started gathering sticks. And on day 5 I'd sold all the sticks that I had previously mined the day before. It took me 3 days of non-stop breaking and placing this goddamn lectern until I finally got this fortune 3 book. So I swiftly bought it and put it on my diamond pickaxe with the efficiency 3 book. I also managed to get a prop 4 villager trade, which was pretty cool. From days 8 to 9 I went strip mining and it was a success. I got a total of not 1 but 3 diamond nodes. However, the third one was guarded by a spider, which somehow managed to get me down to half a heart. Yes, that was close. When I got up to the surface, I had 29 diamonds, so I spent the diamonds on crafting armour and tools, which were then quickly put to use against this intruder who thinks he can steal from me. By day 10, with my diamond armour and tools, I gathered enough courage to go up to the mineshaft. And I was amazed with what I found, because there was not 1 but 2 spider spawners right on the surface that will come handy later on in the video. After discovering the 2 spider spawners, I got straight to work, and the next 9 days were spent breaking and placing a lot of blocks, until I had come up with a design that I was somewhat happy with, but it wasn't the best. To improve my spider spawners, I decided I needed some soul sand, so on day 21 I went down into the mines and gathered some obsidian. When the nether portal was placed, it was time to face the nether. I gathered everything I needed, as I also wanted to get some blaze powder when I was in the nether. I spawned in an ender biome, which would be pretty useful in the future, but I immediately spotted a ghast, which I needed to take care of. However, the ghast turned out to be friendly, as he showed me where the nether fortress was. So I gathered every block that I had and started building over to the fortress. Also, on the way to the fortress, I did this, which I thought was pretty cool. And finally, I had made it. It was time to kill some blaze. I travelled around the fortress and found the blaze spawner. but I wanted to play this safe, so I built myself a little trench and a little hole which I could kill the blaze from. After a lot of shooting, I'd gathered enough blaze powder, so I made my way back home. After my trip to the Nether, I wanted to enchant my armor, so I went digging for more diamonds for an enchantment table. And after gathering the resources needed for the book, I managed to craft an enchantment table. Day 24 was spent of me trying not to die by these cave spiders while I fixed their spawners. And their luxurious bubble elevators were now finished. After 5 days of not sleeping, on day 26, phantoms finally decided to come. But there was a lot of them and I was on quite low hearts, so it's going to be dangerous. However, I had survived the night and came out with 4 phantom membrane. Day 27 and 28 was spent working on the spider spawner, but it still didn't work that good. Hey look, I also managed to find a 3rd spider spawner. By day 33, I'd fixed all of the spider spawner, and as you can see here, it was working really good. On day 34, I'd got really low and I'd completely ran out of food, so I decided to quickly set up a temporary wheat farm inside my base. I then gathered some more experience from the spider spawners. The next couple of days I gathered some sticks, some paper and some hide to get as much books as I can for the enchantment table. While gathering food and hide, I spotted something in the distance. Yes, it was a shipwreck, which I thought was pretty cool, so I immediately went and explored it. There wasn't much in there. There was coal, some rotten flesh and some potatoes. However, the real treasure was outside waiting for me. Immediately after exiting the shipwreck, I had been shot by a trident, which I really wanted a trident, so I decided to have a fight with it. The luck was just on my side, as he, the first drown I had found, actually dropped the trident, which I was pretty amazed. And I spent even more days book gathering. By day 39, I had grew tired of book gathering, so I made some preparations to go to the end, including potion brewing. But for potion brewing, you needed some nether wart, which is what I went and got. And when I got back, I brewed a couple potions of slow falling and a couple potions of strength. Also, I gave my legging prot 4 because I wanted to feel somewhat protected. And of course, I put a pumpkin on my head. Day 43, I made some gapples and went to the Nether to get some ender pearls. I had made my way home with 10 ender pearls, which was somewhat stupid. However, I travelled to the end portal. On the way to the portal, I had found another village just over the hill right next to my village and found an opportunity to get some food. And I slept the night in there. And on day 45, the pearl finally decided to head downwards, but it led me straight to a ravine. However, I heard some silverfish and dug around, and I dug straight into a portal room. But yes, the portal room was a bit dangerous. And of course, the portal had no eyes in it. I was missing just 4 eyes. I looked around for some chests. Some chests had pretty good loot, like diamonds, but this chest had the best loot, 2 ender pearls. And yet another chest had an ender pearl in, which was pretty lucky. However, my luck ran out as there was no more ender pearls in any chest. So I made a nether portal, went to the nether, and hopefully try and find my portal to my base. And it was pretty close, so I made my way back to base, dropped off some stuff, repaired some stuff, and got myself an ender pearl. I went to the portal, I put on my pumpkin, drank some potions, and hopped into the end. I could barely see with this dumb pumpkin on my head, but I managed to shoot every single tower without the dragon managed to hit me, and I jumped down to fight him. And I just kept on hitting the dragon over and over again, until finally, with one good bow shot, I'd completed the game. I'd killed the ender dragon. I wanted the dragon egg, so I clicked it to teleport it, and yes, it teleported into the portal. I had no idea where it went, but I was just hoping that I could find it. I still had one challenge left in the end, to get the elytra. I got really lucky, as I spotted an end city right where I spawned, so I built over there. I was here, however first I wanted to collect a few shulker shells to get some shulker boxes, which are a pretty good item. I floated upwards and got to the ship where the elytra is kept, and there it was, in all of its glory. I also stole this nice helmet and nice leggings, and I grabbed the elytra. I also grabbed the dragon head. Then I made my way back to the portal, and I had completed the game. The next day, I had enough levels to enchant all of my gear, but to be honest with you, they didn't come out with the best enchants. I wanted an Unbreaking free book for my elytra, but I spent all my levels enchanting my gear, so I AFK'd at the spider spawner for a little bit. After getting enough levels, I got the Unbreaking free book, but I still didn't have a mending book for my elytra, so I went and got a mending villager. Also, it was day 50, we were halfway through the 100 days. I trapped the villager and began the long process of turning it into a mending villager. And finally, on day 52, I was really lucky and got the mending book. And I was also really lucky that it only cost 14 emeralds, as that's what I had on me. So I bought it and I put it on my elytra. I made a couple of rockets and took the wings for a spin, and it felt good to fly. It was also a really nice view from up here, as I could see my village and my desert temple. Day 53 was spent gathering more levels. So I quickly disenchanted my sword, as it was quite bad, and I enchanted it again. And this time I got some pretty decent enchants: sharpness 4, fire aspect 2, and knockback 2. I also enchanted my trident with mending, as it was quite low health, so I went to repair that. It repaired quite quickly. Of course I had to pose with it, I mean, who wouldn't? I had a big project in mind of what I wanted to do, but I had no blocks for it, so I went to the Nether, and this was quite fun. So once the blocks were gathered, I started construction. It was going to be a creeper farm, because at the moment I wanted to fly around everywhere with my elytra, but I couldn't, because I had no gunpowder. So yeah, I wanted to build a creeper farm. I did a lot more trips to the Nether than I thought I would. The farm, however, was coming along good, although I'd built everything one block too wide, so I had to bring everything inwards. And by day 61, I'd finished all of the structure. Now it was time to the tedious thing of placing slabs all inside and all on the roof. Day 65 was the day I had placed every single slab. Day 66 was spent gathering enough wool for carpet so spiders wouldn't spawn in my creeper farm, which surprisingly carried on until day 68, as there was hardly no sheep. And on day 69, I had completed it. Yes, haha, funny, day 69. I wanted to make a monument to day 69, but it was already getting night and I wanted to AFK, so I was going to make the monument on day 70. On day 70, I went down to look if any creepers had spawned, and yes, they had spawned, but also some zombies, which was a little bit of a problem as zombies weren't meant to spawn, so I went up to check and fix the problem. I couldn't immediately see what was wrong with the spawner, so I decided to go down and see what was up. And on my way back down, I had forgotten I took off my elytra. I had died. I had failed you guys. I didn't even get to do the 69 sign. I'm sorry for this. I'm truly sorry. Anyway, if you guys want to see me try again, or do a duo, hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.